And Major Garrett in Washington for us this morning. And again, Major, this is his stance on immigration. A cornerstone of his campaign has been for more than a year now. Just then, how seismic a policy shift would this be?
It would be very big for his supporters. It would not necessarily be for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has been somewhat flexible on this. In an interview he did in January with the Washington Examiner, he was asked, is this tough position, mass deportations, an opening bid on negotiations? Trump said then he would hold to it very strongly, but there's always room for negotiation. That's more or less what he was alleged to have told the New York Times in an editorial board meeting. No transcript of that off-the-record session back in January. Josh, one of the fascinating things about covering this campaign is the least reliable source on the Donald Trump campaign is Donald Trump himself, all right? You cannot be sure one day to the next, 1 week to the next, 1 month to the next, what exactly he believes and what exactly he would do should he be elected president. That's true on ISIS and combating terrorism. It's true on the minimum wage. It's true on immigration. It's true on almost every issue, I would say, save for gun control and the Second Amendment, that Donald Trump has identified and used to his own political advantage. But if Trump were to suddenly tell his supporters, those who rapturously applaud when he talks about building a wall, having Mexico pay for it, and deporting everyone who's here illegally, because if we don't, in Trump's words, we don't have a country, they will be sorely disappointed. Now, is it an opening negotiating bid? Is it something that Trump believes in completely and fully? You can't tell. Not because of what I say, but because of what Trump has said. And this meeting on Saturday with his newly formed Hispanic Council left those in the room who listened to Trump with a distinct impression that he was far more than just intellectually flexible. He might actually be politically flexible on this question as well. But there is a voluminous record of statements from Trump saying mass deportation force, do it humanely, but everyone's got to go, then they've got to come back in legally. What does he actually believe? What does this reset of the campaign towards substance and things you can actually measure and believe in? We don't know.
Yeah, but to that point, the flexibility specifically, obviously we saw the staff shakeup last week. Paul Manafort is no longer. Does this latest development then have the fingerprints of Kellyanne Conway on it?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not necessarily. I mean, Kellyanne Conway is someone experienced in the massaged language of reaching out to voters outside of the typical conservative constituency, using focus groups and massaged messaging, rather, to reach them, bring them into the fold. But if Trump were going to do that, he would probably be a little bit more public about it. He may be laying the groundwork as a result of some ideas that Kellyanne Conway has brought to the table. But Steve Bannon, who is the new CEO of the campaign, brought in from Breitbart News, he doesn't have any record on his public career as the leader of that very conservative website, which has warned repeatedly about illegal immigration, talked about it in very dark terms, almost nationalistic, some would say nativist terms. So if they're two roughly equal voices in the new Trump hierarchy, you might think they would cancel themselves out. Or we go back to where I started. Trump has said things like this, hinting in one direction about compromise or a negotiating posture as far back as January. So with Trump, you absolutely can't be sure.
Major Garrett, back where we started. As always, we appreciate it.
Thanks.